Welcome to the latest Judgement Eternal Champions video. My name is Andrew Guns Galea, the game's creator, and as usual, I'm so excited to join you today. Got two big reveals. We've got Jarl, the Goblin Mind Mage, the latest champion to enter the game, and also we're revealing the entire rules for the Goblin tribe, the latest tribe, a new one that we've been working on for a long time, so very much anticipated. With the release of Jarl, we actually have 5 goblins and a troll because Ket came last week. So there is 6 available heroes for the Goblin tribe. And next month is the final one in this phase. We'll have another troll, Dakar, who would be the 7th available for the Goblin tribe. Just to clarify, trolls and goblins are separate races in the game. They're not like trolls don't count as goblins and vice versa, but they both unite under the Goblin tribe. So today, Jarl's getting released. After this video, it'll be available to purchase from all the web stores in New Zealand, Australia, North America, and also Hall of Eternal Champions will be updated instantaneously, as well as the TTS mods and the Vassal modules. So you'll be able to see it everywhere. It is official rules immediately, so these are not going to test realms. So the Goblin tribe and Jarl are both tournament legal immediately, which means they'll be available for Adepticon, which is quite cool. And all other events. We've got a Clash of the Titans in Sydney in a couple of weeks. That's also going to be available there as well. Super excited. So with Hall of Eternal Champions, before I go any further, the web app has become available. So in iOS, on the Apple App Store, you can search for Hall of Eternal Champions and you'll be able to download a native app. The Android one is towards the tail end of a 2-week compulsory closed testing period before it's available on the Play Store. That should be in a couple of days, so if you're watching this video, there's a good chance it's on the Play Store as well for you Android users. It is built from the ground up for mobile apps, so it works much better than the web app. The web app works very well on iPads or tablets or on your desktop, but for the mobile app, we've gone from the ground up. So they do enable you to view all the collections in the games, heroes, monsters, artifacts, this kind of stuff. You can also build your warbands and play games with the auto syncing as well with your opponent. It uses the same backend as the web app, so if you've already got warbands created and you've got a login for the web app, it'll work automatically for the mobile app and all your warbands will be available and game history and stuff like that. Super excited about that. We've had enormously positive feedback about the web app, the mobile apps. And we're pumped to keep on putting more functionality into it. So it's the best way by far to play the game. If you and your opponent have your mobiles and you have apps, and it will auto sync so you can see exactly what they're changing as it changes, or view their cards, etc. Okay, on to today's reveals. So this is Jarl, the model in front of you right now. She is a mind mage, so when I go through her rules in a couple of minutes, you'll see that a lot of her things are about manipulating both allies and enemies. She's very tricksy, really cool model. The sculpt itself, kudos to Creature Caster. We went really hard on this one to try to get that visualization of her manipulating, and she's actually got an ability called puppet strings. So in her model, she's standing above a puppet itself and manipulating it, and it's really cool. Great model, awesome to paint. I've got it behind me here. I've painted it up. It's really fun. Awesome sculpt. Great to have another goblin in the game. And of course, since we split Bale and Sana, there is now 5 goblins and a troll available, and another one coming next month. The model is available for purchase right now on your stores, so it's playjudgement.com.au in Australia and New Zealand, and then it's creaturecaster.com for all other regions. Okay, without further ado, let's crack on and we'll talk about her rules. All right, first of all, so her face card, Goblin Mind Mage, as we said. Now, I'm probably going to interchange between Jarl and Jarl. I think Australians would probably say Jarl, but Jarl can be said as well. I haven't really decided yet what I prefer. I think it's probably going to be Jarl, but yes. Anyway, this is Jarl. She's a Goblin Mind Mage, move 3, agi 5, res 0. She is a magic wielder, so Mage 7. Has no melee weapon, so that's always interesting when that happens, and no RNG. Health is typical of a goblin, 13, 14, 15, so it is on the low side. Makes them very, very tricksy to use, but they can be quite powerful. Agi 5 also helps with that. Soul Harvest 3, quite typical. Right, now, her ability to reach 5 Mind Blast weapon, her basic attack, 2, 3, 4, so it's really good to have that reach. This is her just bread and butter vanilla attack that she uses, but you will see that it's not the main part of her kit, right? You will be shooting with her, but she does a lot of things that are, can manipulate the board state, which you'll find you'll be doing more than just shooting. Common innate abilities, dash and small, just typical. With this phase through the goblins, finish off the goblin tribe, we have really focused on trying to make more straightforward heroes. It's really good to have complex heroes. We love having complex heroes in the game. We don't want them all to be complex, so you'll notice that we're going through just a couple of what you read on the tin as how they operate. But Jarl does have a couple of nuances that I'll get into further in the video. Right, Goad is the combat maneuver. It's a new combat maneuver for her. It's basically a reverse taunt. I'll just read it out and then explain about it a bit more. Enemy hero damaged by Mind Blast attack is goaded. The nearest enemy model in line of sight at the start of the goaded model's next activation, other than Jarl, is the only enemy model the goaded model can target during that activation. Couple of nuances here. With taunt, when you taunt someone, they're instantly taunted to the model. With goad, it doesn't really kick in till the model activates. At the time they activate, the closest enemy model they can see, they're goaded right towards that model. So that means after Jarl casts it, the enemy's got some counterplay sometimes to manipulate the board state to make that enemy model they're goaded towards be meaningful. But it can't be Jarl. This is a really good defensive play for Jarl. She can cast it multiple times in the one activation. She is a god of Thomas, a champion of Thomas, which I'll get to later. So when in the Thomas effigy power, it's 1s to get it off. Very huge defensive play, but there is some counterplay for your opponent. But that enemy could be a monster. It could be one of Jarl's allies. It's a really cool ability. Obviously, she comes with a goad token in her pack when you purchase her. But goad is a lot of fun, really good, great defensive kit for her, and can be really crazy sometimes in some of the board states. She's got mind control. Second hero to have this after Cavado. Anyone who's used Cavado would know how powerful mind control is. When you think back just to last month when Ket was released, any 2 AP basic attack hero is really strong with mind control because you're getting AP efficiency by spending 1 AP to get a 2 AP attack. And those 2 AP attacks are quite devastating. So obviously she works well with Ket, but she also works well with Zafin, Ashel, Thrommel, all the 2 APs. She can also work really well with someone like a Zonya because Zonya can apply a Fury token outside of her activation, and then when she starts, there's already a Fury token on one of the enemy models. So it's super strong. Everyone knows it. It's great to have 2. You can run Cavado and Jarl at the same time, which is super fun. And so 2 mind controls is a lot to handle as well. But obviously, we're talking about her being a mind mage, goading someone, mind controlling an ally, and mind drain. Right, so this is super exciting. So mind drain is the first. We're introducing a brand new ability type called channel. It's basically our damage over time ability in Judgement. I've wanted to bring in the damage over time ability for a long time, and now we've done it. This is the first one. So channel will be in the core rulebook in 2.7 when we patch in June. Until then, I'm going to post it on the Hall of Eternal Champions as an errata, and it will appear on Jarl's profile when you look at her. So I'll just go through the mind drain ability first, then I'll flip and we'll talk about what channel means, and then we'll come back to Jarl's second card. So for 1 AP and 1 F, she can target enemy hero within 2 hexes, takes 2 true damage. Expires at the start of Jarl's next activation. Now, this doesn't sound like great. It's 1 AP and 1 F for 2 true damage, but that's when channel kicks in. And notice the expiry doesn't go away until the start of her next activation. So what is channel? Okay, so let's just get it up now quickly. Here it is. A channel is ability when it triggers its effect when it's cast. So as soon as you cast mind drain, 2 true damage goes on the enemy model. And it triggers its effect at the end of each subsequent enemy hero activation until it expires or the channel is broken. So that means every time your opponent does a hero and activates it and ends that activation, the model that's got mind drain on it is going to get another 2 true damage. This will keep happening until Jarl has her activation. So obviously it can build up to a lot of devastating damage, but channels can be broken. And there's four ways they can be broken. The hero that owns a channel ability gains knockdown, poison, pin, stun, or fear. So any of those conditions would immediately break the channel straight away. If the channel ability is a target and any hero activation ends when the target is 5 or more hexes away from the channel owner. So if any hero activation ends for any player and the channel model is more than 5 away from Jarl, the channel's broken. So obviously you can do things like Styx can move that model away, Kavado can move Jarl away, you can push Jarl, all these kind of things, or the model can activate and just get out of 5 and it will break it. But obviously if the model's activated early in the round and then Jarl chucks it on it, it becomes a bit more tricky for some warbands to deal with it, which is really cool. Any of the channel owner's hero attributes are reduced by any means. So obviously poison and knockdown come under this as well. We've listed them explicitly just to make it clear, but anything that drops this, so something like a Rotarius from a Jaeger, that drops her agility to 1, it would break the channel. So Decay from Nasuzi would do the same thing, right? So anything that drops any of her attributes, it breaks the channel. And then finally, if the channel owner dies, if Jarl dies, then obviously it will go away. So that's channel. So there's going to be more heroes coming out with this ability. We might even retro this ability onto heroes already in the game in future patches. But I'm really pumped about this. We've done a ton of testing on channel to get it to that balanced state. It's very delicate to get it that from being way OP. And the way it is now, we're erring on the side of caution. There's a lot of ways you can break the channel, right? So we're okay with that. We're going to monitor it, but we're quite happy with the way that we've tested it a lot. So if you get Mind Drain off and do just true 2 damage, it's not great, right? It's an AP and a Fate for 2 true damage. If you get another damage over that, so it's 4 true damage, you're starting to get into territory where it's worth it. Anything above 4 is gravy, is money for the Jarl player. So channel, it's really good. It also brings in a lot of counterplay from models that can reduce abilities like Jaeger, like Nasuzi, so it's really quite fun. All right, so that's channel. And that's Mind Drain. So if we just go back to her card, her first card, that's basically her level 1. Her level 1's quite simple. She's got a good basic attack. She's got Goad, 1 combat maneuver. She's got Mind Control, and she's got Mind Drain. Now I have found when playing Jarl a lot, and I've practiced her probably more than most, I'm really digging my Goblins. I'm going to take them to the next few tournaments and leagues. I don't find I'm shooting with her multiple times. Sometimes I'd shoot with her twice. Often I'm shooting with her once. Very rarely I'm shooting with her 3 times. Because things like Mind Control and Mind Drain can do a real lot. Particularly if you get some levels on her, you'll be shooting a lot less. She's a great hero, even at level 1, but she gets really ramps up at level 2 and 3. But obviously with no melee weapon, it's hard to get monster kills with her, as it is Victor and other models that are similar. So let's go to her second card. Oh, before we go do that, shout out to Gamer Dad Joe and Peter from Creature Caster. They've done a ton of work redoing the cards, getting them into all the images, all the graphics have been redone. They're much sharper, things are much clearer, getting a lot more consistency in the cards. So yeah, I just wanted to shout that out. They're really nice. Okay, so the next card is this. Level 2 Choreograph, keeping with the Mind theme. 1 AP or 1 F, which is always great to have flexibility in the kit. Target friendly hero model within 3 hexes that is either a troll or has the defender ability can advance its current move towards Jarl. It gains Pathfinder and is immune to parting blows. So this is very similar to Shan's Get Behind Me, but it can be a troll or a defender only. It can't be any other model. But this is super powerful. We talked about Ket a minute ago. The thing about 2 AP shooters like Ket, Zaf and Ashel, your opponent's going to often try to dive them to lock them up in combat. This can get Ket out of that combat. So Jarl can get him out. Then she can follow up with a Mind Control to get him to shoot. It's a massive turnaround if you get her the timing of her activation right. She also can pull defenders towards her. We've talked about Mind Drain and breaking Mind Drain. Obviously, if she's next to a friendly Donregar or a Lugdrug, she's Lugdrug's ward, then it's a lot more difficult to get rid of that Mind Drain and break the channel. so she can pull Lugdrug or pull Donregar towards her to give her some protection to make that possible as well. Great ability. I mentioned before, I often don't find myself shooting a lot with her because she's got so many extra cool things to do, and the top Jarl players are going to be trying to manipulate this as much as they can. Level 3, 1 AP or 1 F again. So late game, a lot of fate. These abilities, you can just fire them off. Puppet strings. Target any model within 3 hexes cannot be placed or advanced outside of their own activation by any means. Expires at the start of Jarl's next activation. So this is the first time we've done this. We've got a really strong root ability where the model can't be sent back to their effigy by Asbrand. The Krognar EP gets countered by this. Grail can't send them to a soul pit. Styx can't pull them out of combat. Enemy Jarl can't pull them out as well. It's quite really strong, right? So that model is basically rooted outside of their own activation and can't be placed. So once again, a really strong ability. It's 3 hexes, it's got a decent range on it. So if you can get her to level 3, she's singing a lot. She is a model that you can buddy up with a Lugdrug as his ward, or get Donregar close to her. In the Goblin tribe, she works really well with both trolls. We haven't revealed the rules for Dakar yet, who happens to be behind me here. But he is going to be a defender. I've already revealed that. So Dakar is a troll defender in the troll warband. So, but obviously because this is trolls and defenders, she can use choreograph to pull them out. So she works really well with both of them in the Goblin tribe. And there's a whole bunch of heroes she works well with outside of the tribe. Speaking of that, she's Ista and Thomas. I mentioned Thomas earlier. It's great for Goad for the 1S. She's also got a lot of fate abilities. So the Blessings of Thomas tokens are fantastic with Jarl. So you'll have a lot of opportunity to use them with her, particularly if she's level 3. In Ista, having no melee weapon, she can just walk out because she on the EP turn because she gets her she gets nimble, and so really good. Really happy with her. She's been an amazing hero. Super pumped. I'm really proud of how she's come out. She's very thematic, and it's always difficult to get a low health, high agi model to work. One thing I do want to say, don't forget with Goblins, small is a very powerful ability for Goblins, right? It can let other Goblins run through her space or charge through her space. Big models can do it, and she can go through other small models and big models as well of your allies. So that ability to do that is really good when you're in tight confines. Okay, that's Jarl. So hope you like her. She's really good, available for purchase right now. So get stuck into it. Coupled with Ket, you can now start playing the Goblin tribe, which I'm going to reveal in the second half of this video. So let's get to that now. All right, Goblins. Much anticipated Goblins. Right, let's go through the warband bonuses first. You take it. Interrupt, innate. When a Goblin is damaged but not killed by enemy basic attack or active ability, they can interrupt the action. The action interrupt occurs after the damage has been dealt, before combat maneuvers are applied. Deal the same amount of damage to another friendly hero model within 3 hexes in the form of true damage. The original Goblin then heals for the original mount. So obviously, if the original... This is Bale and Sana's old rule, right? So essentially, in the Goblin tribe, it's one big health pool as long as you win 3 of each other. So clumping up is good, but it can also be bad. I'll get to that later. These abilities aren't mitigating damage. You're still taking it, but you're forced to spread it round, or you spread it round. And each Goblin can do this once per round. It's really good. And obviously if you die. Now, think this is healing, right? So fire and mortal wounds are the bane of Goblin's existence. Particularly if you want to clump up, because this wants you to clump up because you're within 3 of each other. You want to be close to each other. If you're doing that, someone like an Alan Deer, he can cause problems. Istariel, anything that can cause fire or mortal wounds is a problem. Siphon Life. This is also for Goblins. At 0 AP, they can just cut a friendly troll within 3 and heal for the up to 5 damage. So once again, it's damage mitigation. Now, trolls have regen 2. So obviously cutting them late in a round is good because they can get it back straight away. So with Goblins, you want to manipulate. If you're fighting into Goblins, you want to try to split them up, spread them out. What's her name? Laurie Bella's explosive cast is amazing for this because it can really split them up. And once they're isolated, they drop very quickly. I talked about Troll Regeneration. So these first two abilities are only available for Goblins to use. But the Troll one is they get Hyper Regeneration, which is Don Regar's level 2 ability. For each level they gain, you get an extra tick of regen. So at level 3, Ket and Dakar, when he comes out, are going to be regenning 4. Now these are Res 2 models, so that's really tanky. Regenning 4. Goblins can be cutting the Troll for 5 to heal themselves, and then at the start of the round, the Troll will regen 4 again. So there's a lot of health mitigation in the Goblins, right? So it's playing into it. It takes a lot of forethought. It brings heroes like Styx into the game, huge, Cavado into the game, anything that can manipulate the board state and split them up and separate them around. Mortal Wounds, Fire, these are all the things you'll need when playing into Goblins. That is the Warband bonus. It's pretty cool. Now, and very thematic, Sacred Artifact, Helm of Distortion. This is essentially Styx's Astral Split ability. The unique thing here is when you buy it for free, you can put it either in an offensive or defensive slot. Now, everyone knows that Astral Split can cause havoc with the battlefield, right? You chuck it on a bale, he charges into a monster, then splits with an enemy. Enemy gets into the monster, gets hit. They've already activated, they're going to get hit at the start of the next round. Super powerful. And as I said in my video recently around the first round of the game, any free item, chuck it on your hero. This is free, equip it. It can be offensive or defensive, so there's no excuse. Put it on one of the heroes where it makes sense and then go nuts with it. So it's really good. So that's Helm of Distortion. And finally, their EP. There's a bit to get into here. When you're playing against Goblins, I can tell you, with or against them, you really feel like you're playing against or with Goblins. They're like, all the abilities are super thematic. The Trolls really anchor it. Now, as I said, this Goblin tribe is available right now. It's not going through the test realm. It's legal immediately. You can play it. It is tough. There are 5 Goblins. For the brave people who want to play 5 Goblins, go nuts. Not necessarily recommend it, but you never know. With Ket out, you can have him as the anchor around a lot of these abilities. It really starts to sing when you've got both Trolls. So next month when Dakar comes out, you're really going to see the Goblin tribe starting to hum. So effigy power, once per round per Goblin, when it is hit by a basic attack, after that attack is completely resolved, that Goblin may be placed in an adjacent unoccupied hex. So once again, this is just Goblins. When they get hit, you complete the whole combat, the attack, then they get to place. Super important, right? Because they can't use a combat maneuver to follow you up because they've had to really complete the entire combat action before then you move. This is super strong. It can be really, really good against certain warbands and certain heroes. So that's cool. For this round, at the end of activation, Goblins and Trolls may be placed in a hex where they started their activation if that hex is unoccupied. So this is Temporal Shift built into their EP. So this really mix up the board, right? So you could shoot out Bale somewhere or do whatever you like with Dakar or Ket, and then they go back, they've got the option of going back to where they started from. Super tricksy, super powerful in the right situation. And that's for Goblins and Trolls. So the one place is just for Goblins. The Temporal Shift is for Goblins and Trolls. And finally, for this round, Goblins and Trolls gain Backstab and ignore firing and melee penalties and stealth when making RAG or Mage attacks. So this covers both. So if you're a melee guy, you've got guy or girl, you've got Backstab. If you're a shooting type, you've got some bonuses as well. So when you look at the Goblins on the face of it, they're not huge damage. They don't get massive damage bonuses. Backstab can be good for a couple of points here and there if you've got the opportunity. But really, they're all about manipulating the board state, making it very difficult for your enemies to know what's going on and how to get hold of them. Once they get hold of them, the Goblins normally go down pretty quick. But this is the Goblin tribe. We're super pumped. We're so loving the fact that tribes have come in. They've added so much to the game, and adding another one is always fantastic. I'm going to do a big spoiler. We are going to release another god at some stage, potentially before the end of this calendar year, which is amazing. But the next thing we're doing is another tribe. All right, the next tribe on the horizon is the Chimera. So we've just finished the Goblin phase. So Dakar next month is the end of the Goblin phase, and then we've got the next phase after that, which is going to be the Chimera phase. till we get to the Chimera tribe, and then we're going to go back to some of the gods and other heroes and start backfilling some of those. So there's lots to look forward to. The game's in such an amazing shape. Shout out to all the new players. We've had an influx of new players in the last 6 months. So welcome to the game. I hope you're enjoying it. Just one thing about the app, some things like this with the Goblin, you take it, and the EP, those things we're going to start tracking them, make them really easy to track on the app. So if you're a Goblin player or playing into Goblins, you'll know very clearly who's done this, and you won't have to mark these on the board. We are putting together a guide on how to use the app and what we recommend you track on the board and what you use the app for. So things like bound souls to heroes, we're going to recommend you do it on the board. Basic conditions, recommend you do it on the board. Hero tokens, but things that are long-lived like mark target, wards, honor guards, all these things that are long-lived, or stuff like this, like the humans that you can already track the human tribe abilities on the app. So we're going to have a guide to tell players these are the tokens we think you need when you play the game on the board, and these are the things we think you should track in the app. So that's coming shortly as well. So that's it. Thank you for joining. Super pumped about Jarl. She's amazing. Ultra pumped about the Goblin tribe. I'm going to get stuck into it straight away. As I said, you should be able to play it on the TTS mods. Both the Goblin tribe and Jarl are going to be available on that immediately. Vassal module's the same. Plus on Hoek, you can have it on the app, so you can actually start playing the games with it. And the model's available from your local reseller, either creaturecaster.com for the rest of the world or playjudgement.com.au for Australia and New Zealand. Thank you very much. Have fun, play some Judgement, and take care and peace.